So I was browsing the lovely world of TikTok and I stumbled on this video that I want to react to with you guys today by the creator named Helen Rose. Let's get into her video.
What it's like dating in your 40s in DC as a Black woman. So I met this dude on this app. I use two different apps. One of them is like for relationships, and the other one is for like, everything else but a relationship, if you get what I'm saying. So I already knew it wasn't going to be like typical or whatever because I'm not.
Wait, everything but a relationship? So this is a website. This is an app that you just need to do the do. That's what it is? Cuz I'm not familiar. Listen. The last time I was on the app was Tinder. And Tinder, I formed a relationship in Tinder. I formed a relationship. Yes, ma'am. But I guess there's apps just for smashing, just for clapping cheeks.
So anyway, this man's gorgeous. He's like 6'7". He is beautiful shape, nice body, beautiful face, head full of hair, original hairline. I was like, there's going to be some red flags up in there because there's no reason a man that looks like this is supposed to be on the site. Like,
she got a point there, because when people are just too damn gorgeous, you're like, why are you not taken? Especially when you find a man that's a significant age in their 40 and they have no kids. You're like, what is wrong with you? Because it's very few and far in between that have no kids, especially when you handsome. You could go to the corner store and get a woman. You could go to the gas station and get a woman. You could go anywhere. So the fact that he's on an app looking for someone, yeah, she got a point there. It's definitely a red flag.
this, he would already be taken by Miss Perfect or whoever. So I knew there was going to be some red flags that I was going to have to overlook. And we had been talking for a couple of weeks. He lives in Baltimore. I live in DC. It's about an hour, I think, drive. And so we had already established that we lived too far away from each other. But the night that we talked, he ended up being in DC that night. So he was like, I really, really want to meet you. He drives a Tesla and his car was about to die. So he was like, I'm going to go over to this Tesla charging station. I'm going to charge my car because I have to charge it before I can drive back to Baltimore. So he's like, can you come get me from the charging station? So I said, yeah. So I went and picked him up from the charging station and we went to a bar over by my house. He told me that he couldn't have a drink because Ramadan was about to start. This man is clearly of the Muslim faith.
So, okay. So don't get me wrong. The man, he's Muslim. He mentioned Ramadan. How you on a date? Because the Ramadan period is a holy period where you go on a spiritual journey, you pray a lot, you fast. You are not supposed to be engaging in any type of situation where you're going to be enticed. I don't understand this, but let's continue.
And so I was like, okay, that's fine. But there's no really restaurants anyway. So we're still going to go to this bar or whatever. So we ended up at the bar. I had a drink. During the time when I'm having a drink, I learned a bunch of the red flags that I was still going to overlook because this man was so good looking. Okay, so red flag number one, this man was previously incarcerated for 9 years. He had just gotten out like last year, and he lives in a program home in Baltimore. He did not say group home, but that's what I deduced from the conversation because they didn't have as many programs in Maryland that he needed where he was, so he had to go to Baltimore. I don't care about him being previously incarcerated. I didn't deal with straight up killings before. That's just something that it doesn't bother me, but it's still a red flag. You know what I'm saying? Like, no shade to anybody who's been previously incarcerated. I'm just saying it as a fact. So I overlooked that. Then he said that he didn't really have a job. He was doing DoorDash, and that is why he was in DC. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, they be having us go all over the place. And I'm like, so I told him, like, I drive Uber as well. So I have a regular day job. I drive Uber and I have my business. And I said, why don't you just do Uber or Lyft? Because you have a Tesla. Like, it was a new Tesla, like a big body Tesla, like the one of them big ones. And he said that he had got fired from Uber and Lyft for texting too much while he was driving. So I'm already knowing what I'm dealing with here. I'm dealing with someone who's not very bright. Because how do you get fired from Uber and Lyft? Like, I drive Uber and Lyft. And I ride an Uber and Lyft, and I've seen people who full on be having full conversations with their AirPods in their ears when they come and pick me up. It's never been a problem. So he must have had his phone like right here and was like on the phone texting and driving and gotten complaints over. I don't know. But anyway, so he's just living off DoorDash and dreams. So then that's red flag number one. Red flag number two. I'm sorry. Red flag number one.
She said
red flag number two was
living
he
on
DoorDash don't have a regular job. The red flag number three,
DoorDash
he
and
looking for a wife.
drinks.
Now, very clear in my profile that I do not want to be anyone's wife ever again. I'm also very clear in my profile what my intentions are. Nothing serious. So he said he's looking for a wife in between the ages of 20 and 30. I am 43, and it says that on my profile. So I don't know if he just don't read or what, but I was like, I'm 43.
Sis just want to clap cheeks. Sis just want to get it in. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm here to celebrate whatever journey of life you're experiencing. I'm here to celebrate it with you. But she was direct. And sometime, like me, I never been married. Sometime when I hear people saying that they don't want to get married, I know they must have had some challenges in that marriage and they don't want to go down that route again. And to each his own. But I don't know. I think I would want to be married because I don't want to be alone in my 80s. I want to have that husband that you have where he be dropping stuff and you be upset and you be like, oh my God, this old fool. And you know how the elderly couples, they be cracking on each other. Like, I want to experience that. I don't want to be a burden on my kid. I want to have a husband that we are burden on each other and we live in our best life. That's what I want. But to each his own, let's continue.
And he's like, you wouldn't be willing to have any more babies? I can't, sir. I can't. And no, even if I could, I would not be willing to have any more babies. I'm not having any more babies. So the babies is done. And then red flag number 4, this man said, I don't feel like a woman brings any value to a relationship unless she is able to bear a man children. He said those words with his chest out loud. And I was still going to overlook that because that's how good looking this man was. This isn't anything serious, right? We're just hooking up. It's fine. Whatever. I'm just going to let it go. Red flag number 5. He told me that he could not drink because it was Ramadan. I looked over and had caught a glimpse of his phone as I'm having my drink, and I see him looking up Airbnbs and hotels.
Anything to get fucking laid. That's what it's given. It's given he is so fucking gorgeous. I'm gonna ignore the bullshit that I see in front of me. Just to get laid.
Why are you doing that? And he's talking about, well, you're really intriguing. When we get out of here, I thought that maybe I could try to test it out. So you trying to fuck, but you can't drink. Which one's worse? Because I don't understand. In the Quran, in the Bible, whatever, what is drinking's worse than sex? Because I don't like what are we talking about? What are we even talking about right now? Can't even remember what red flag we on at this point. And I was still ready to overlook that because I was like, maybe if we can just get through this and plan something later, then I could. He's 6'7". Like I don't know what I was thinking. The last straw I decided to go ahead and drive him back to his car. Because I was like, we ain't going to be nothing going on tonight. Even if I decide to do something in the future, we're not doing it tonight. So I'm driving him back to his car at the Tesla charging station. As we're driving, I find out he's a Trump supporter. A previously incarcerated black man of the Muslim faith is a motherfucking Trump supporter. And he said, with his whole bird brain, name one racist thing Trump has ever done. And I told him to get out of my car. Right on the side of the road. I don't even know where we were. I don't know how close we were to his car. He said, "Are you serious?" I said, "I'm dead serious. Get the out of my car. Get out of my car." And I left him there.
So we got to stop it there. But this lady, Helen Rose, find her on TikTok. She had so many signs. She had a bunch of signs. But the way he was structured, his facial features, his height, women love them some tall men now. I do myself. Tall glass of water is pretty nice. And he was gorgeous. She was willing to overlook him being incarcerated, him being fake Muslim and not being able to drink, but wanting to look for an Airbnb so he could clap cheeks. She was overlooking the fact that he wanted kids and he don't think women was of value if they couldn't bear children. She overlooked all that with one exception. He's a Trump supporter. Yo, that is hilarious. Like, that speaks volume. You don't want to date this guy because he's a Trump supporter. You don't want to date this guy even though he told you all these other things. But because he's a Trump supporter. I don't know if this story is made up. It sounds like it's made up, sis. I don't know if you capping, but it sounds crazy. Because all them other red flags, I would have been out the date. First of all, me having to drive, I don't like being the one driving on the date. The first date, I will meet you there. I'm not picking you up. We're not going there together. First of all, I don't really know you. I don't know if you're going to leave anything in my car, any contraband. I don't know if you're going to stick me up and rob me. No, we are not going to be driving together. I'll meet you at the place. These dating apps, you don't know what you're going to get. You may get a serial killer. You may get, as he was, ex-con. You'll get a lot of things. And it was just screaming a little bit desperation. Because you ignoring the red flags except that one about Trump. And that wasn't the biggest red flag to me. But because that was higher on your radar than the other bullshit, I don't know, sis. I don't know. But ladies, if you're dating in your 40s, it's really rough out there. This is the people you see. This is the people you, come on. He's Muslim. He's engaging in communication with another female that he is intrigued about, that he want to see what's going on. No, he's not Muslim. No one would be engaging in any kind of activities with the opposite sex during Ramadan. Absolutely not. They would say, catch me after Ramadan and we could talk.